Warning, this video contains spoilers for the manga of Attack on Titan. Okay, so we're doing a tier list video. I'm not sure how to make this intro because I've really done one of these, but I'm not alone for this video, so it's not going to be as boring as it usually is. We got a special guest on the channel, SeaTactics.
Hello, I'm extremely honored to be here. You have no idea how long I've waited to do this video. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's been a while. We've been planning this out, and this will be a pretty fun video. We got a lot of deaths to rank as we know AOT likes to kill off our favorite characters. So I want to notify you about our incredible tier naming that we literally came up with like 3 minutes ago. So we got 5 tiers here, from the worst tier being King Fritz. Very creative name there, can't lie. We got C, B, A, pretty basic, and then we got peak writing with the special AOT spelling. So there you have it. Those are our 5 tiers, and we're gonna get right into it. First character, we have Bertolt, or as you like to call it, Barclophagus.
This is the only character in AOT that I just don't care too much for. Like, I pretty much like every other character, honestly. Like, there's not another character I hate more than Bertolt, even though hate's a little bit of a strong word.
That's debatable. King Fritz.
Even okay.
Wow.
So King Fritz, yes, he's pretty bad. I mean, he's got his own tier, right?
We could change it to Bertolt tier if you want. I really do respect the way they brought up his character up to his death. I think knowing that he's the Colossal Titan at first was kind of weird because he wasn't that big of a character, and even after he was revealed to be the Colossal Titan, we still didn't get much about him. But in the Return to Shiganshina arc, they really did add more to his character. Like, they grew him until he finally died. So I do respect that, and obviously it was a huge turning point in the story with Armin getting revived, so I think we'd at least have to give him like a pretty good ranking based on his death alone, not necessarily like his character for how we like him or not, you know? He has a respectable death, so I would say probably A or B, but you know, since you have certain feelings towards him, I'd obviously go lower to B, right?
Yeah,
so
we gotta compromise. We could go for B. B for Barclophagus.
Next is Carla.
Oh, listen. I don't know if you know, but I love MILFs.
Okay.
I love moms. They're the best, the greatest. I love Carla. If I could, I'd put Carla in peak writing. And that is totally biased.
As for death, it was kind of like, it was a death that just needed to happen for the plot to continue. But as the story progresses, I'm not going to say what happens, but there's some more stuff added to this moment. So it is really interesting how it happened and how it changes the course of the story. But I think simply because it was so influential to the story, we'd have to put it like at least B tier.
At least B, okay. I mean, I go peak writing, but B, yeah, I agree with that. She's a good character.
I think we can compromise with A, right? You go with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd put her in B. B's fine.
The reason like I right now just had an idea of putting her in A was simply because of the music that played when she died. It was so good. Yeah, music for me in anime is huge, so.
All right, well, yeah, so then let's put it in A.
All right, A it is, let's go. Colt, character we talked about on your channel. I kind of gave my thoughts on him in that video a little bit, but compared to these two, I wouldn't say he's like nearly close to them.
I like Colt. I think he's a good brother for the amount of time he was in the series, and he wasn't really much. I'd put him in, you know, C tier.
Zachary, I think.
I call him Zackley. Shit machine guy. He's got a cool death, and the cool in that scene. I wouldn't say that scene's cool, but I think his death is great. His death signifies the rise of the Jaegerists, so it's pretty good. I think it, you know, at the very least, he's at least C. Yeah, would I put him above C though? I'm not sure, because he was in season 1 and a little bit of season 3, and I'd say his biggest contribution was probably still in the final season with his death.
Dude, honestly, I have no idea who this is.
I think we should put him in B.
Facts. All right, Pyxis. That was a hard death to watch, not gonna lie.
It was pretty sad. They did the whole music from season 1 as well. I think it's called Barricades. That was pretty great. What do you think about him?
I'd probably go high B, low A. It's tough.
High B, low A. I think A is really respectable. It's definitely arguable. I think most people would probably go B. He's got a lot of importance in the story, but he's, you know, not one of the main characters. He's sort of like a supporting role.
I love the way they killed him, but at the same time, it wasn't really like a very pivotal moment, so we have to account for that as well, you know? High B, I'll put him ahead of Bertolt. I think this dude's name is Gunther or something like that. He's one of the...
Oh, he's Squad Levi, yeah.
Yeah, Squad Levi. I think Squad Levi is to collectively go in like either C or B tier.
C, I think C for this guy just because...
Yeah, he's kind of a nobody. see. Kruger. It's hard to say for Kruger because he kind of died off screen.
He had like one of the best moments, but he's like nowhere else. He's just like a guard that spared Grisha's life and gave him the attack titan, and he had like really cool moments and dialogue. I think that's where he shines the most because he's like, what was it, save Mikasa and Armin, which is like, you know, when I watched season 3 and I saw that scene, I was like, what? How does he know?
Bro, the foreshadowing is just out of this world in this show. It's unbelievable. See, pretty much because, you know, he died off screen, he wasn't that huge. I mean, it was pivotal to the story, but like, he just showed up for a few episodes. Next one's pretty undeniable.
Peak writing, come on. I cried when he showed up in the final season. I was like, damn it. I didn't plan to cry to AOT today, which is, I don't think that's ever happened for me. I don't think I've ever cried for an AOT episode.
Furlan, right? I would say Isabel's death was better because she's the one that showed up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember these characters now. I put them both in C.
Yeah, I think C is fair.
Grisha. This one's tough. The father of the year and simultaneously the worst father of the year. I like Grisha because it's an example in AOT where we see someone grow and change in a very extraordinary way. We see this guy, he starts out, you know, he's this innocent kid, he has a traumatic event happen to him, he loses his sister, he becomes a revolutionary, he eventually loses his son, and he loses his wife, he loses all of his friends and all of his, you know, people he works with. He becomes the attack titan, and then, you know, he's basically told by his son to carry out these heinous acts that he's doing. Before that, in the meantime, he meets Carla, raises, you know, Aaron, and he saves basically Paradis from a plague that's killing everyone. He is an example of a person who is very complicated and has a very sketchy past in many ways, but also at the same time, I think someone who gotta respect his work ethic, you gotta respect some of the achievements he made, like for example the whole plague thing, and he realized his mistake in the very end and sort of corrected it, so to speak, until a bit too late by that time. Yeah, he's a doctor, he saves lives, of course he's gotta die in some horrific fashion in AOT.
Yeah, I mean, I really think Grisha's a phenomenal character, and I think his death was not only like shocking seeing it the first time in like season 3 when we go into like Aaron's memories, but just the amount of like plot behind it is like absolutely insane. I would definitely say A tier at least for me with Grisha.
I think A's, yeah. I think just iconicism alone, he's at least a B, and for sure an A. Now we got Mario here.
Exactly. King Fritz, without a doubt. Yeah, not even close. Yeah. Another one of Levi Squad members. Yeah, just because we don't know his name, C is very fitting for him, and because it's Levi Squad and everything. So Hange.
Yeah.
Right up there with Erwin. It's just too perfect.
She's a little obtuse in terms of her love for Titans. She's a little. I love that scene in Final Season Part 3 where Hange is like, "Oh, let me ride you." Oi, 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 oi.
Hannes.
Oh, I love Hannes so much. He is the drunken father figure I think we all want in life.
His death was really important though for like the coordinate ability, everything. It was also pretty emotional too. So it's fair to say for me, high B, low A again, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'd put him in B, the very top, personally.
I agree with that. All right, we got to rapid fire through some of these like filler characters throughout here, but I'm not gonna call Keith a filler character because he's pretty cool. Hard to say because like the C tier guys are the guys that are kind of like meh, whatever, right? And then there's like a kind of a jump to B where it's like they were impactful but they weren't insane.
Yeah, maybe we need another tier.
Survey Corps, OVA people, yeah. I
think that makes sense. As for I think maybe Colt D as well.
Yeah. Keith would go C, right?
Keith and Magath, I think both go C.
Kenny.
I go B. Kenny is the cowboy of AOT.
I was even thinking like around A too, because the quote he gives before he dies is so meaningful to the story. It's insane. Everyone had to be drunk on something to keep moving forward.
Yeah, that is such a good quote. Yeah, that's amazing.
And he was really important because he gave the vial to Levi and everything. And we got like it revealed to us that he was this, he did that for Levi and stuff like that. So he's a pretty cool character for me. Yeah, I'll push him up to A. I think he deserves it. Great character. Lara Tybur.
Poor Lara.
Unfortunate.
I would my gut goes with like C or B, but I know she's D. And the thing is, it's just because she's not in the show enough. She was in it for like 2 or 3 episodes, and they were great. Everything Lara did was great, just not in the show enough. That's the issue.
Marcel.
Plot device.
I'd probably say, I mean, it was pretty cool the way they did it, I guess. And a lot of there's a lot of foreshadowing to it, so I'd put him in C probably, yeah. Marco.
I did a whole video on Marco. I'm so biased. I'd put him in A.
Okay. I was just gonna say it's hard because like his initial death was just like kind of shocking, but he wasn't that important of a character. But when you learn about him later, it's like, damn, that was kind of dark.
It's just, I love that quote of where he's like, why can't we just talk things out? And that's such an important line, much in the way I guess Kenny's is to a degree, because Marco, he was right. If they just, if all of that group just sat down and discussed with, you know, whoever, what was going on, it would have turned out so much better. Personally,
probably like high C, because while his death was good, he was kind of like a side character. So yeah, high C. Marlo, I might even say like C, to be honest. Like it wasn't as lame as like these guys. Like we had some kind of an impact for him, you know.
He was with Hitch, so he won in the end. People love Mike. My entire community is like, no video of Mike, bro. I'm like, what do you make me say about Mike? I don't know anything about Mike.
This guy died before we knew who the Colossal Titan was, so he didn't make it to the important parts.
He's like below Lara at this point.
King Fritz, I don't know, but D probably. But we know where she's going. Totally
had a crush on her back in the day, yeah, D.
Wait, what? I guess it's a glitch in the tier maker.
Oh, these are all character deaths?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay. Nifa was her name? Not quite sure,
Nifa.
but probably D, right?
Levi's second Petra. Nifa, D for sure. I agree. I love Nile. I like his name. He's got a great name. Once again, though, I'd put him like above the Squad Levi members for me personally, because he like helped, you know, return Falco to Gabby.
We got tongue biting dude.
I love Aluo. He's like a little bit below Petra for me, but I put him in D.
All the D tiers.
Petra C.
I was thinking of moving the OVAs to C. I'm not looking at the D tier. Yeah, because looking at D tier is mainly just like plot device characters. I mean, they kind of were plot device characters though, weren't they? I think it was cool to Levi's backstory. That's the only reason I'd like kind of pushed him to like low C. But now we have Porco, another character we talked about in your video.
Yeah. All the ladies love Porco. Yeah, I'd go B.
Yeah, B, I was thinking B too. I think it was great the way they did it. I'm not gonna lie. Eren kind of slapped him around a little too much, but he wasn't as bad as he looks in the anime.
I love Porco. It's the haircut. He's so cool. And his death is great. His death is...
Oh, yeah. One of the best episodes in the show. Great moment, like great parallels and everything. I might even bump him to A, I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, yeah, I'm thinking now.
Like,
A.
I think I'm bumping Porco up to A, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that was a really good death.
Honestly, I'd even say he's probably at the top of A.
Yeah.
He's like looking at...
That's fair.
Because Carla's death was Carla and Grisha and Kenny, they all had cool deaths. I think Porco's better.
What do you think about Ramsay and Halil? Like,
I love this is the one scene I waited for a year.
Oh my goodness.
Years.
You have no idea, man. The whole freedom thing was like,
oh man, it's so
in the
good.
front of my mind for like all the way through after I read it in the manga. It was so good.
I'm gonna say something controversial. I think he should be in peak riding.
I was literally gonna say the same thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I guess we're both controversial.
Yeah, I'm putting him in peak riding. I know the comments on this video are gonna be crazy, but my goodness, like even in the anime, like the music, everything about that was so good. Like the whole conversation you had with Eren and everything was beautiful.
Yeah,
so
the whole
I can't
moment where they get crushed right before, and he looks over, he sees Halil clutching his coins as a reference to the My War opening, which they foreshadowed beautifully. Oh, so good. The animation as he's crying out, as he realizes in that moment he's dead.
We gotta stop before we start crying on video.
Yeah.
All right, Rod Reese, King Fritz.
King Fritz. King Fritz for Rod.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Sasha. Okay, so I'm gonna say something controversial as well.
All right.
I think a lot of people will go peak riding just because Sasha is so favorited, I think she's A. I think it's her death, while being very shocking. Actually, you know what? No, yeah. It's tough because
really
she's
hard.
like, she's, you know, Sasha the meat devourer, you know? So
she's a meme character. It's hard, you know?
Yeah, but her death also means a lot because it signified a tone shift in Attack on Titan from being like, there's no room for comedy by this point. It was misery after Sasha died. Remained true. It's crazy how different the final season tonality wise it is, and it's crazy going back to the other seasons. Sasha, Connie, and John, and especially Marco in season 1 and stuff like that. Those characters really added a lot of levity. There's just none of it in the final season. There's just like death, despair, destruction. It pretty much made Gabby the most hated character for a while, and still people to this day will go, fuck Gabby, she killed Sasha.
Would you go peak writing or A?
Yeah, peak writing. Yeah,
Alright, fair enough.
I'd go C, honestly.
Yeah.
I see.
He kind of also died off screen. I might even go D, to be honest.
Yeah, D. Yeah, I think D's fair.
Right over here. Udo and Zofia are kind of like similar deaths.
Sad deaths.
They were sad, but at the same time, it wasn't like anything significant to the story.
Yeah, it was pretty much there to kind of mirror what would happen later on with Sasha dying. It was the motivating factor for Gabby to really ramp up her hatred of Eldians. I would put him in high D.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I'm not gonna lie, this guy...
I don't know anything about him. I'm just gonna be real.
Yeah, I might as well put him in King Fritz, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, Willy. Oh, man. Declaration of War is so good. That's
one of the
like
best
an all-timer.
episodes in all of anime. Like, that was exceptional.
Yes, I remember when that episode came out, I was laying in my bed, getting ready to... ramping up. My back was hurting that day, and I had to do videos. And I was on my phone, I was watching it. Crunchyroll went down that day. And I just remember going on Twitter, seeing everyone freaking the freak out about Declaration of War. And just that moment at the very end where he declares war on Paradis and Eren pops out and like breaks his neck like immediately from the force.
That alone has to push him at least in B tier for me.
And his conversation with Magath made it so much better too, because Willy was a martyr for war. Holy crap. I think peak writing at the very... that's where I would put it.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I just think, would you put him like near these 4 in terms of his death and his importance as a character?
Well, it is important because he declares war. I see what you mean, though.
Yeah, like these are... I mean, I guess... except for Ramsay, kind of. But Ramsay's there because like the whole thing was like one of the best parts of the story. But
we'll compromise, put him high A.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. High A is like pretty fitting for him. There's 2 Ymirs beside each other, but the first
2 Ymirs.
the founder Ymir.
Yeah, founder Ymir.
I guess we're talking her initial death when she gets in the way of King Fritz.
Oh my God, it's C. I would put like in C in that case. She like loves King Fritz for
honestly, I might even put it in D. Like that was weird.
Even D. It is weird stuff.
Stockholm
I still
syndrome.
To this day,
but
yeah, Stockholm syndrome, that whole thing. It's just a weird death in my opinion, even with those elements.
Next is Ymir.
I love Ymir. All right, she is gorgeous. She's a queen. For me, at least, to see, but I'm eager to hear what you think about her, where you would place her personally.
Thinking back on her death, she also did die off screen, but there was a lot of great moments with her backstory and her whole character. So I would honestly agree with you. C, even possibly B for me.
I think B, just because her relationship with Historia and the charisma and that she had and how she commanded kind of the scenes she was in with when she was around Historia, was those two are like a dynamic duo in those early seasons, especially season 2. She carried season 2.
B tier?
Yeah, B's fair.
Floch, the king of the Jaegers.
Come. I mean, I'll say this in terms of his actual like moment to moment death. His death is kind of just a death.
I would say the highest he goes for me is probably B. You know?
Really?
Yeah, because if we're talking specifically the death.
Yeah.
You know, that's what.
B,
but like, I want to hear your thoughts. Like, where would you have put him?
I mean, if we were like his death, yes, it is a B. That is a good point. It is just a death. Like he basically gets shot by Gabby and he shows back up and they kill him again.
I'll put him like front of B. Zeke's death. I mean, you don't remember much of it, but personally, it was such a huge build-up to his character that I'm just gonna straight up say I'll put both of them in peak writing. Personally,
really?
Yeah, I mean, they're both
think Eren for sure.
Yeah, they're both such pivotal characters to the story. I can't not really put them. Especially because, like, the whole promise Levi had to Erwin and everything to kill Zeke. And the fact that Zeke literally sacrificed himself and finally came to realize, like, the beauty and the meaning of life. Because Zeke was that kind of character who didn't really like life. He condemned it in a way. He condemned Eldians living. He wanted to, like, euthanize them and everything like that. But in his final moments, he finally realizes the beauty of life. And I think that was, like, amazing. And then Levi kills him, fulfills his promise. Like, it was amazing. Yep. And then Eren, we don't really have to talk about Eren because it's the main character dying.
Yeah.
Kind of has to be peak, you know?
Right. Here's the thing, though. Where would you put him in the peak writing? Would you put him at the very top, or?
No, I would still say Erwin and Hange are like 1 and 2 for me, death-wise.
Okay.
As much as people flame the ending of Attack on Titan, I still do think Eren's like, I guess it was the death in the second to last chapter. It was like the biggest conclusion in the story, so I'd have to put him at least third. I would kind of have to wait for it to be animated to compare it to these two, but for now, third.
That's a good point. We don't even know what's going to be what the final episode and those moments are going to look like yet. But as for manga, yeah, it's probably fair. For me personally, I mean, I'd definitely put Eren probably. I don't know if I put him at the very top. I'd have to think about it for a little while, but he's definitely one of them at the very top. That's for sure. And Zeke, that's interesting. I remember feeling a little disappointed in Zeke's death.
I can see that,
in the manga. So I can't really describe to you why. I think it was just like 3 or 4 quick panels, right?
It was, yeah. But there was like a huge build-up before it, to be fair. But like the initial, like the final finisher, I guess you could say, of Levi killing him was like, you know, a few panels. But that's pretty much it. It's the whole list. Yeah. So that took a while, but I mean, I'm pretty happy with the list. I think it's great.
Yeah, as well. I'm very glad you invited me on to do this. This was really fun. This made me think about characters in totally different ways that I've never, ever thought about AOT characters before.
We're also going to have another video on SeaTactics channel that's pretty similar to this one. It's 3 deaths in Attack on Titan. We talk about them, we discuss them, and things like that. That'll be up around the same time as this video goes up. So if you're watching this, that video is probably live on his channel. So go ahead and check that out. I appreciate you guys sticking around, and that's pretty much it for us.